Welcome to our weekly market review. It's brought to you by Treasury One and ETM Analytics. As per usual, I'm joined by Andre Cilliers, currency strategist at Treasury One. Andre, so it turns out even if you are seemingly the most powerful man in the world, you can't just do as you wish. After upending global trade, straining relations, just to kind of pull the strings together to align with Make America Great policies, the US Supreme Court has now put, let's call it a temporary stop to Trump's emergency tariff playbook. Obviously, those emergency tariffs were just one lever he could use to, play like a carrot stick kind of moment with a lot of countries. And there remain several levers that he can still use. One of them being this across the board 15% tariff that he's since implemented. Now, we all saw this play out over the weekend, and you can see it in markets. There's been a bit of a sour sentiment since towards the US dollar. But do you think this is a fresh round of uncertainty pumped into markets?
Okay, so good morning, rather, to everybody. Let's first of all address this graph that is here in front of us. A trade deficit that's huge. Now, I'd like to point out not the fact that they had a trade surplus in 1975. To point out, carefully count your days or your years between 1980 and 1989. Look at my bald head, and if you were looking a little bit closer, a lot of gray hair. Now, I was there in 1987, October of 1987, and the trade deficit was released, and it caused, I think they called it Black Thursday or something like that. And I know that on the Monday morning, I happened to be in London, you could buy Porsches relatively cheaply from stockbrokers. That was wiped out in the losses that was made by people. It was a really horrible time. And that was trade deficit figures that was released. If I recall it correctly, it was around something like $17.3 billion. Now, we all know where we stand now. Then we know exactly why we had Liberation Day on the 2nd of April last year when tariffs was announced. And since then, what did we actually work with since Liberation Day? On the 9th, he withdrew it. Then it was postponed for 3 months. Now we've had a Supreme Court ruling. We've been working with the one thing that investors absolutely hate in this little world of ours, and that's uncertainty. And we have now been thrown straight back into uncertainty. Over the weekend, or after that Supreme Court ruling, he came out immediately with 10%. 10% later was over the weekend changed to 15%. Where's the next change? This is also temporary. This rule that is working on now is also, if I have it correctly, just a 6-month rule. So, as I say, investors are thrown straight back into uncertainty. If you get thrown back into uncertainty, you don't go put your money into the US dollar. You take some of your money and you move it somewhere else where there's a little bit more certainty. You move it into gold, you move it into other precious metals. But you vote with your feet or with your money. And that's, you leave the US, you invest somewhere else. And we can expect more of the same until such time as we've got clarity and certainty on this whole matter. We know that money is needed to address certain trade issues between America and the rest of the world. But the rest of the world sits with exactly the same problem because there's a huge deficit in most cases with the Far East called China. So a lot of people need to address this. Tariffs might not necessarily be the right thing.
Yeah, and it's not going to be easy to unwind. A lot of it has, like I said at the beginning, there has been an upend in trade how people trade, the negotiations. We saw one example that I can remember now is the deal with Japan when it comes to shipbuilding and some of the investment that's going to flow from Japan into the US to regenerate that kind of industry in the US. So this is not an easy unwind. So we've played out the scenarios, and it's very tricky to see how this is going to play out if this continues to be, recalled back. You can't just unwind it because there's many structural changes that has happened because of these tariffs, and it's going to remain, like you said, that uncertainty is going to remain. But for domestic issues, obviously, our eyes will be squarely on Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana on Wednesday when he delivers his budget. All around, it seems like everyone is expecting a more positive tone in this budget, partly because, remember last year, it took a long time for the budget to be passed, so a lot of the budgets couldn't be allocated. So everyone's giving, this one a chance of being a bit more positive. But the fiscal room remains very limited for government to make big moves necessarily. One thing that I'm specifically looking out for is what's going to happen to the bracket creep, because we've had now for 3 years running no adjustment to that, which has placed immense pressure on middle income South Africans or any South Africans, working South Africans. So I know there's a specific watch out for that. Some have mentioned the health tax credits with the medical aids that could be mentioned as well. But anything that you are looking out for, Andre?
Yes, what I'm looking at is more, the blood pressure, the heart rate, and those vital, as I refer to them, those vital statistics, the loans as a percentage of GDP, the deficit as a percentage of GDP, that's the ones that I want to see, is how far are we getting from moving out of intensive care into a general ward is more important to me than whether I get 50 cents back on my tax and then ripped off with another 60 cents that he takes in somewhere else. I can tell you now that I think, it's my opinion, that he's looking a little bit better. I think his tax income is looking better. I think the collection of taxes by the taxman is looking better. I think he's got a little bit more money to work with, to start off with. But there's a lot of holes that needs to be plugged. It is an election year, so definitely we cannot expect him to announce that there's no extension. Mr. Ramaphosa had already said, we're extending certain of the welfare money that we dish out every month. So he can definitely not, even remotely after last year's disaster, announce a VAT hike. But I think he will announce for you specifically, who said that you're looking at that. I think he's going to announce that bracket creep is alleviated and is allowing it this year. But if you were sitting back on a Friday evening, having your glass of wine or drinking your beer or a glass of brandy or whatever, I think you're going to find that there's a hell of a surprise on that one coming. They fed up with the amount of people drinking in this country, drinking too much and causing havoc on roads and causing havoc on hospitals and so forth over weekends. So I think he's going to hit the people on that taxes really, really badly. So I think with the fuel price where it is, we might also see that there's a fuel price increase lurking in the background because it will increase certain levies, but your bracket creep will be there for you. Tax credits, that might be half, that might fall away. That's the one where I'm saying he's going to give you 50 cents and take 60 cents, but he's going to put a smile on your face for the bracket creep. Overall, I think his budget is going to look fairly good. The one that I picked up that we can expect certain announcements on exchange control. And that, if we go back to the news wires on Friday, was already confirmed by one of the deputy governors of the central bank that there is changes to exchange control to be announced in the budget. Now, that is something that makes South Africa look a little bit better in the eyes of international investors. that could be positive for investment culture into the country. So I think what we're doing with this budget is that we're setting up a nice window dressing show that will look better, will be perceived better by investors, and will sell the country to investors going forward. And that the discipline from a fiscal side will remain. So overall, a positive expectation of the budget for this year.
Yeah, and we hope that window dressing will also impress the ratings agencies, Fitch and Moody's, to give us another bump up. So are we looking then to the budget to give some direction to the South African currency this week?
Well, yes, Mr. Trump, Supreme Court, 15%, 10% changes, uncertainty on the investment side for the Americans is already working positively towards the rand. We're already seeing below 16 again. And I think that will continue, and the budget will add to that positiveness. So I think the rand's in for a positive time, and most probably heading around about to the 1570s, but will remain within the 1570, 1620 bracket. But as I say, most probably trading lower to the more bottom end of the range.
Yeah, so it's budget, it's tariffs, it's possible bombs that could drop in the Middle East this week. So a lot still going on. So I'm sure we will have a lot of topics again to discuss next week, and then we will